Hey, what is going on here?
What's up, boys?
Where are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm where exactly I'm supposed to be, at a poker table.
Are you in the middle of a tournament or what?
Yeah, I
Well,
forgot I had this tournament today. I'm gonna go back though, and I'm
well,
gonna find a place. I got a huge stack, so that's kind of good.
well, do you want to reschedule it?
Well, I don't think that'd be fair to you guys.
Well, we're willing to do
So
that, dude.
we'll see how it goes. Let me just find a spot over here. If the noise is gonna be too much, that's the key.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to actually have a little bit of the background noise of the tournament going on,
I know
though.
it is actually, because this is actually the atmosphere you want, right?
Yeah.
I guess I'll go like this. I'm gonna go. I told them I might do this. So.
All right, everybody. Well, welcome once again to the RecPoker podcast and the YouTube video. I'm your host, Steve Fredlund, and as always, we are sponsored by Running Aces Racetrack and Casino, and episode 118 already. And a couple of quick announcements before we get to Kenna. The Crazy Like a Fox is that great training opportunity that we've been talking about. Starts March 21st. Man, sign up, get out there. If you use the code FOXRECPOKER, you get half off of that. So go to RecPoker Training. Click on Crazy Like a Fox. Check out all the details. It's going to be fantastic. Also, I just want to say shout out to all the folks that we've seen in the RecPoker gear lately. Just today, Chris Nelson, Stacey Nelson, Brian Morey, Jill Burke, a lot of folks kind of repping the brand. So I appreciate that. It's fun to see all you guys out there doing that. And then a quick shout out to the players of the week last week at Running Aces: Alan Clemps, Nate Franklin, some dude named Steve Fredlund, and Mario Scotti. So, yeah, I know. I've started doing this, sharing the players of the week, and the last couple of weeks I've been out there. So it's kind of feels self-serving, but that's not the intent. It's a way to honor our sponsor. But I had another good week, another victory. You got to enjoy the run good while it's there. And so with that, I'm trying to get through the preliminary stuff as fast as I can, because we are joined this week by one of our rotating experts, Kenna James, and Kenna's actually joining us. We have our schedule here, and Kenna said, "Oh shoot, I'm in the middle of a tournament," but here he is on anyway. Well, he's taking time away from the tournament. So Kenna, what's going on, man? How's life? How's the tournament? What's shaking?
Oh, it's going great, man. I'm so much is going on. I'll try and update you. Let's see. Right now, I'm at the Venetian. We're playing a $400, $40,000 guaranteed monster stack. Looks like first place is going to pay $18,000 in this. 215 entrants. There's 98 players left. There's the board up there for those that have
Nice.
the video assist. And I don't know. Let's see, the average stack is 66,000. I got about 150,000, so I can take a few minutes out.
Yeah, and for those of you who are just joining us on the actual podcast, if you're not aware, a few months ago we also have a YouTube video. So Ken is actually walking around with a laptop showing us the Venetian and the scoreboards there. So if you haven't yet, go check out the YouTube video of that. But so Ken has got a big stack just kind of hanging out now. Everybody's blinding off a little bit.
Hey, it's going to save me from getting in trouble. I'm out there a lot in the middle of the felt battling it out. This is actually a one-day tournament. So we started at noon. We're going to go till probably 3, 4 in the morning. And I just came off the HPT cruise, final table bat, finished 6th. My student knocked me out, actually, won the event. So there you go.
Good news, bad news.
Marty Gorence, and so congratulations to him. But that's, how can you beat that? You have a student go to the final table. We went to the ship together, and so it was great. I had like 3 or 4 students on that ship, and they all did really well. So but anyway, into the day, I'm glad to be on your show. Shout out to all your players and the rec players. You're doing great work, Steve. It's an honor that you asked me. I know that you've hounded me and said, "Come on, we need you on the show." And a lot of people don't see what you do behind the scenes to get people to come on your show and just contribute and help the community out. And you're a leader of that. So good for you and good for the RecPoker.
Well, thanks for your kind words. I know, we were able to get you on before episode 91, and people just loved Loved your energy, loved what you had to say too. And so, yeah, I've been hounding you a little bit. Let's get you back on, but you've been
That's
gracious enough.
great. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Hey, I was up one of the first Annie Up. If you remember Annie Up, when they got probably 1,000, 2,000 something. I don't know. I was on one of the very first ones, first episodes they ever did.
Oh, is that
So
right? Oh, sweet.
yeah, so you're growing. You're over 100. Congratulations! I expect to be invited to show 500.
Yeah, no, we'll have a big celebration there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So anyway, what can I do for you
yeah,
guys?
well, what we've been doing, we every few months we switch the format a little bit just to kind of keep it fresh. And
Mhm.
one of the things that we've been doing recently is having some rotating experts come through and just going through hand histories. So
Yeah.
taking one or two hands and just walking us through that, and kind of giving us insight into how your brain is operating with each street, with each action, whether it's hand
Yep.
ranging or kind of what you're thinking. And so I know you have a hand or two that you're ready to share, and myself and Rob Washam and Stacey Nelson are on here, and we might just poke in with questions here and there. So let's just kind of keep it
Sure.
fluid.
Sure.
But yeah, if you could walk us through
Sure.
that.
Sure. Absolutely. First
Yeah,
thing I'd just like to say in general, the app I use is just a shout out. I don't get anything from them. Is Poker Analytics 5, which is just a tremendous app to track hands, and I just picked out a few that I sent you. But as you can see, for those that are saying, I got I got loads and loads of just hands that go back, you know,
sweet.
so for so long. And I think it's important to track your results, track your hand histories, go back, look, learn from mistakes or opportunities. And with that said, let's get after it.
Yeah. So
Uh,
do you have them loaded on your computer? Because you can share your screen. There's a thing on the bottom of the screen.
okay.
You should be able to click on share screen, kind of on the
On
bottom.
share, yep,
Yep.
share right there.
Yep.
Okay.
And then it should be able to select
And
which window you want to share.
got you right here. So I'm going to share that.
There. Yep.
So
Perfect.
you see this?
Let-
Okay.
Yep. And for those of you who get on audio, we'll try to fill in the blanks so you can have enough information for the audio. But let me ask you this, Kenna, before you get into this hand. You mentioned you're tracking your results, but I know you play a lot of live tournaments. Are you recording some of the hands as you're playing them, or uh, how do you,
Question.
is that what that app is for? Are you for recording live hands?
Yeah, it is. I'm recording it as I go. Not, just interesting hands
Yeah.
or hands that I want to take away from and learn from, or know how I got in a certain position. When you do something over and over again, you get quick at it. So
Yeah.
at first I wasn't quick at it. Now I can enter a hand. It'll only take me one hand or maybe two at the table in which to log or document this hand. You don't want to become an accountant at the table, but if you get quick at it, you're able to log it and save it and then look back at it later. So it takes me maybe 2 minutes
Yeah,
to
that's
log.
fantastic. Well, yeah. Let's dig in. What's the situation here?
Well, the reason I picked this hand, Steve, is one of the things that I coach is trying to find your release point early in a tournament. And by that, I mean, I'm looking, while people are sitting on their hands, they got a lot of big blinds and stuff. I'm looking to get out in the middle and double up. And your release point is when you have twice the average or twice the amount of chips at the table, so that you can then no longer be at the mercy of the cards or the fear of going broke when you pick up queens and the guy's got ace king or queens. You know, at the start of a tournament, you have a lot of big blinds, but you're one hand from being out. So I open up my ranges like this isn't a normal hand that you would see. Jack 10 under the gun, all suit playing in this spot.
Yeah.
But the reason I selected this hand to play here in this particular table is my table was very loose passive. So anytime you're selecting marginal hands like this, an early position to play, uh, you want to have the right environment. And this environment is a very loose passive table. I don't figure to get raised out of this pot without seeing a flop, as opposed to a tight aggressive table where they're 2 and 3 betting, and then you can't see a flop and you're putting in good money without being able to see what comes out. So,
Right.
so that's why I elected to play this hand to begin with. The environment was right for it.
Okay, so the big blind's 100, and you're opening under the gun. You got 155 big blinds to start the hand, and you're opening
That's
under
correct.
the gun with Jack 10 offsuit.
Right.
Okay.
Which, that even makes me shudder. But when you say it like that.
So let me get this straight, Kenna.
Exactly. There's some truth in it. The better you play post, the more hands you can play pre.
Yeah, for sure.
I kind of know where I'm at and what I'm trying to do. And so here, I'm feeling comfortable. I'm also leveraging. I'm leveling, meaning I'm leveraging my own position in my opponent's minds against them. Meaning they're assuming I'm opening with really strong here, right?
Right.
And here I am really weak. So I'm leveraging that consideration against them. I don't figure to get re-raised in this spot. Again, I figure to see a flop, and sure enough, I don't get re-raised. For those who have visual, those who don't will describe it to you, but those who have the visual on the YouTube, as you keep getting, more and more advanced, Steve, you'll get the benefit of seeing this hand visually play out. So I raise the 3. I get 4 callers, 1 under the gun, 2, 1 in middle, and the small blind and big blind complete, obviously, probably for pot odds and just to see a flop. So the pot's 1,500 going into the flop, and I've got a multi-way hand and a multi-way pot out of position. So I've got 2 of the 3 that I'm looking for.
Wait. Say that. Okay, wait. Let's stop. You say you got 2 out of the 3 that you're looking for. Comment a little bit more on that.
If I would have had a multi-way hand and a multi-way pot in position, that would have been a home run, right?
Okay.
You try to get the stars to line up as much as possible, like having a premium hand heads up in position would be a home run, right? Having a premium hand and a multi-way pot out of position, like ace king or ace queen, not so much, right?
Yep.
So your hand quality and, of course, the number of players in the hand and your position are 3 things you want to look at in summary as you go into a flop.
Okay. Yep.
So that's my pre-flop hand summary. I've got a multi-way pot and a multi-way type hand and a multi-way pot out of position. So 1,500 is the pot. We take the flop. The flop is queen 6-3. Obviously, I have squadouche. I have air. I have.
You have a backdoor 10 high flush draw.
Yeah, I got a backdoor 10 high flush draw. And this is not a spot. I don't believe, as a general principle, I'm bluffing in multi-way pots, right? But I had an evil thought go through my mind here, watching the small blind and the big blind check. And that evil thought is, all right, 40% of the field is folded. I'll take a stab at this and represent ace queen. And I like bluffing. When I do bluff in a spot like this, I don't really have any value. I have jack high, so my hand's so easy to get away from.
Right. So
I figure, hey, this has got value to just take one stab at it, and if I get any resistance, easily give up on the hand and get out of dodge, right?
Yeah, and you're under the gun, so they have to give you some credit for ace queen or kings or aces, or
you got it. So again, I'm still leveraging that position and that mindset.
Yep. Okay.
Not really playing my hand here as much as I'm playing the considerations in my opponent's mind.
And are you also thinking, because you said, once the small blind and the big blind folded, do you think if they had hit a 6 or hit a queen, they probably would have let out? Is that part
of it? Not at all. Just they're showing weakness, right? If they were if it's different than if somebody donk bet into me,
right?
That's real strength, right? So yeah, they could be slow playing. They could have a 6, could have anything, but they don't know what I have either.
Right. Exactly. Okay.
So quick tip is, when you know that your opponent doesn't know, that's potential power. People don't like to play and not know, and I tend to play okay in it. So I don't know what's going to happen. All I know is I'm going to rep ace queen here and go after this pot like a dog going after a bone, and just make a standard half pot C bet. I get called by the middle position, and everybody else folds around and we're heads up to the turn. Now, I don't just, automatically resign. This is not too bad for me because when my opponent just flats here, there's some hands that I beat. I actually don't beat them, but in my mind, I beat them because I can rep to beat them. For example, 5-4, heart draws, all heart draws, right?
Right.
Like,
Ace 9 of hearts.
Yeah, 9-8 of hearts, 7-8 of hearts, whatever. Even hands like Ace 5 of hearts, which doesn't figure to call here, so he doesn't figure to have that. But there's just a number of hands that I can beat with aggression if he's calling on a draw. That's not a thought in my mind, but it's definitely a consideration.
So at this point, yeah, I mean, I like that just kind of general framework of, okay, yeah, he could be ahead of me, or he could have hands that actually I can push off. Are you at this point actually doing some sort of a hand ranging where you're actually saying, okay, I'm putting him now on a queen or 2 hearts or like that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not. You did say one thing though that I don't agree with. I don't say I'm ahead of those. I'm not ahead of anything. Obviously, I got jacked high, but I'm saying I'm in his mind. I'm playing it. I'm playing this hand in my opponent's mind, not my own.
Right.
So as far as hand ranging, yeah, I'll go. Okay, he's got a pair. He's got a queen or a middle pair or a flush draw. That's how I would range him here. I keep it general because we're still early in the hand, like a 6 or 7 or queen, or he's got hearts. That's basically how that goes on in my mind.
Yep.
So, but still, I'm not thrilled with it. I'm probably giving up unless something special happens on the turn, and let's see what the turn comes. So the pot is all of a sudden $3,100, which, as you can see, pots build pretty quick in tournaments. All of a sudden, my SPR here is less than 5.
Right.
So this pot's getting a little juicy, and I pull off a pretty cool turn card.
And just so people that are listening, just to be clear, so Queen 6, 3, 9 with 3 hearts, and you have the Jack. You have the Jack 10 with the 10 of hearts.
I've got the beautiful Jack.
That's a good turn card for you.
It is, as long as my opponent isn't on a flush draw, right? So obviously I have no idea where he's at, but he has no idea where I'm at either. So I elect, because the turn card's so good, I just now turn my hand into a straightforward play, expecting to check call one street and reevaluate on the river and just play it straightforward. I don't want to get bluffed off this hand I have by just betting out. And let's say my opponent has like Ace 6 with the Ace of hearts. He could easily push me off this hand. So I go for a little bit of pot control, and I decided in my mind to just play it straightforward from here. After I've been running without the ball for three betting rounds here. Yeah.
Yeah, and sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but no, I think it's a very good point, I think, for a lot of us recreational players. So on the flop, you feel like I just really have no equity here at all. I'm willing to bet, and if I get raised, I'm perfectly fine releasing it. I don't have any equity that I'm really giving up. On the turn, you're saying now I have enough equity that I actually want to check here because I don't want to get re-raised off my hand. And I think that's an interesting. It's a good thing to actually keep in mind for rec players, is that because sometimes I can see like the opposite things. Like, boy, I don't have anything, so I should check. Oh, now I've got a straight and a flush draw. I should bet. And the dynamic of being out of position there sort of reverses those things.
Well, and there's a couple other things. You bring up some good points, but 2 other considerations. One is the equity I had on the flop was called fold equity. And the equity I have is playing my position and getting my opponents to fold, which a couple of them did. So it's not just hand equity. There's also other types of equity as well. The second thing is, let's say I had a hand like kings or aces or ace queen here. It would be natural for me to check this turn. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Because this wouldn't be a great card for those type of hands. So I'm also playing it kind of straightforward as if I had a big premium hand. Okay. So I check it, and he goes ahead and bets a third size pot, which is beautiful for me. when he bets a third, it's just so juicy because now I get to just draw for, I'm basically 1,200 to return 55. What is that? 4, 5. I need to win 1 out of 5 is 20%. And I've
Yeah.
got, and if he's got a pair, I've got straight and flush draws. It just, to me, it's just an obvious call here. So that's pretty straightforward. On to the river we go, if that's okay.
Yeah, well, one question there. Do you read anything into that bet size other than, hey, this is a great bet size for a drawing hand? Do you read anything into that?
I don't think it's too much. There's
it
too
doesn't
much.
help you range him any further than you had him before?
Not really, because he could just easily be slow playing, making a weak bet with the nuts as he could be with a hand like Queen 10, or an ace of heart,
Mm-hmm.
ace 6 with ace heart. So there's just no way for me, at least, maybe there's other people that can narrow him enough to know if that weak bet means he's weak or really strong. So I deviate to where my own position in my own hand here is.
Yeah.
And to the river we go, and it's a 9. So now the board pairs with 9, right? And there's 7,000, I think it's 5,500 sitting out there in the middle.
Yep.
So of course, my first thought is I'm out here with nothing, and there's 5,500 out there sitting in the middle, which, as you can see, is again almost a third the size of the stack. So I have this evil thought that creeps into my head. A couple of them. One is the only way to win is to bet, and it almost seems irrational to bet, but it's really my only way to win the hand. I feel like, because if he's got ace X anything, right, or king X anything, I'm just in water. So I'm not trying to bluff a winning hand off here, is what's important to note. I'm not trying to get a queen to lay down or hearts to lay down, or otherwise I'd play it as a polarized hand, like, just jam. What I'm really trying to elicit with this 15, I end up betting 1,500 on the river, and my reasoning for betting weak is to get marginal hands to fold. Ace high, king high hand
that beats you.
That didn't complete, right? King jack, for example. Like king jack with the king of hearts would have bet this turn, right?
Yep.
But he's probably not going to call river because of how I played this hand. I played it appearingly straightforward. However, we all know now I'm running without the ball on every street. So this is just one of these hands where I'm going to win a $7,000 pot, where we start with 15,000 or whatever we did in this tournament. And it just goes to show you that I'm just not sitting on my hands and waiting for something to happen, waiting to make a hand.
Right.
I make the hand. I paint the picture. I'm the artist. I'm out there. Does it always work? No. Sometimes you paint a dud, right? But I think players are afraid to lose chips,
Yeah.
And I'm just not one of those guys, and I'm out there to go out and grab a hold of some of them. And in this hand I did, and hopefully you find it interesting. The one reason I included it here, and you asked me for a couple of hands, was just to show your players, you don't have to sit back and wait for hands. You can go out and create them.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of really good dynamics here. I think, first of all, saying, okay, well, opening Jack 10 offsuit isn't always the best play, but at a loose passive table, that makes it more opportunistic there. I think the idea of betting when you have high, some fold equity but no hand equity, that's interesting. Checking when you have, maybe some fold equity but you have actually more hand equity. That's an interesting thing. I think the betting pattern of checking turn leading out river is interesting. But one of the things with that, what I just found really interesting is, and you didn't really allude to it directly, but I'm curious if this is how you think about it, is that your opponent has an entire range of hands, obviously.
Right.
And sometimes, I know I get stuck in this idea of, okay, I can only win by bluffing, so I need to make a big bet. But like how you, in a sense, what you're kind of doing is taking your opponent's range and saying, okay, here's the range of hands that they have that beat me. I'm not going to try to bet enough to get them off of all of those hands. I want to get them off of a 3 or pocket 2s or, the ace high flush draw or whatever. So I'm not betting to try to get them off of obviously a set or, or trips or top pair. I'm just going to bet enough to get them off of that garbage because that's actually going to be a positive EV play.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's a very interesting concept.
Yeah. Well said and well summarized.
Well, I'm trying to learn from the best.
Well, you are learning, and you're not only learning, you're doing. Remember, guys, it is great, and I go to a lot of these different things and clubs, and we talk about hands, and it's all fantastic. But like even now, I agreed to do this. I'm here. I'm talking about hands, but I'm also playing.
Yeah.
You gotta get it out there and get in practice. And but so I like both. I'm always going to be a student of the game.
Yeah. I want to open it up. I know we just have a few minutes left. I want to honor your time. We'll just do the one hand. We'll save the others for later. But it looks like Rob maybe has a question.
Just a quick one on the.
Hey, Rob.
How you doing? On the turn, he bet really, really small. Did that influence your decision on the river?
Well, it influenced my decision on the turn. Had he bet a standard bet, I'd probably just fold. And no, it really didn't enter my thinking on the river. It could have, but it didn't. I just was, at that point, flying by the seat of my pants, which a lot of times you have to do, People think, okay, I got this strategy. I'm going to play this way. And then all of a sudden you get hit in the face, right? And you gotta adapt your strategy to the moment you're in. So good question, but no, it didn't.
Okay.
Stace, did you have something?
Yeah, Ken, I was going to ask you about the river. If you'd have pulled a little bit of equity, hit a 10 or hit a jack, where you had some equity, but you could have still been behind a fair share of his range, how would that have affected your river bet?
Well, I wouldn't bet. I would check for sure. I would check for sure, praying for a showdown. And if he bet, I would look at the pot odds and the size of the bet and determine if that percentage of the time I thought he was bluffing. And I would also look over at mannerisms, different things like that, try and get a feel for what he wanted me to do and do the opposite.
Okay. Good.
Good question.
All right. Anything else from you guys? Robert says, okay, well, Ken, I know we just kind of go fast here, but I know you're sitting on a mound of chips. You've gone through an orbit or two and kind of blinded off a little bit, but I want to respect your time. But
anytime you want me to come back, I'm more than happy to. I just want to I'm not supposed to do this. I'm just going to, because people don't get out to Vegas, This is what you're missing. This is what you're missing, guys. Look at this.
Well, I'll be out there in June. It's sweet. Yeah.
That's what you're missing, man.
Get out to Vegas. Get out to the Venetian. So let's close off here, but tell us a little bit, just real quick, if people want to find you, either more about their coaching. I know you do some life coaching too, which is something we could talk about at some point. But just how do people connect with you, find you? What are you offering right now? What's available?
Well, you can find me pretty easily. I'm on, Twitter, Facebook, Kenna James. You can go to my website, kennajames.com, which I'm update. Wait till you see what I'm releasing in a couple weeks. Whole new website. I was going through all these images that I'm putting up where all these celebrities and different players I played with in the past and brought back a lot of memories. But on my website, I also have some tips for your audience and stuff like that. Even if they just stop by, pick up a couple things, that's fine. I only work with a select group of people. But they have to be really passionate about learning the game and wanting to raise their game. And if they are, then I'll set up a private interview with them for 30 or 45 minutes, and we'll determine together whether we work, because it's expensive, to work privately. And I understand that, and I respect that. I'm going to try and do, maybe in the next couple months or a few months or so before the World Series, I'll try and do a group thing. You're inspiring me to do something like this where I can make it more economical and by taking more players at a time. So I would, if your players could let you know if they'd be interested in that, let me know, and maybe I can do something with you guys on a thing like that. I would love to do a session sometimes where your players send you their hands and you put them in like I just did, and we can spend a show where I'm just talking about their hands, and what they're doing, so I can help them, which is what I love to do, which is what coaching is all about.
That would be great. I know, like you maybe heard in the intro, we have this thing with Chris Fox Wallace, who's a World Series of Poker bracelet winner, and it's the first thing we're really teaming up to do, where it is kind of this live, interactive, instead of just training where here's all the information, go do it. It's actually interactive, back and forth like this, and so he's going to use our platform and to do that. But I'd love to talk with you about doing something like that, because, like you're right, it makes it more affordable. Versus 1 versus 1 versus 1 versus 100 is much more affordable, especially for those of us who are playing $5,000 to $25,000 worth of tournaments a year. It's hard to justify one-on-one coaching dollars. So
I understand.
Let's chat about that.
Rob, Stacey, anything before I sign off and go back to my chip hack? Are you guys good?
Just want to thank you for coming on. Did a great job.
You're welcome, man.
Let Steve know how you finish up here. It'll be fun to follow you tonight.
I'll be watching. I'll be on Twitter, man. We don't go live with this till Friday, so we'll know by then.
For sure.
Yes, you will. So thanks for inviting me. I always appreciate talking to you guys and to your audience. You guys are in a great group. You guys are leading a great group of people. I have a mad respect for people who are studying and learning the game and trying to improve themselves and their game. So,
we appreciate your generosity and helping us get there.
Yep, you got it, baby.
Good luck.
See you guys.
Care,
Bye.